joining us on the show, Swaminathan Aiyar, consulting editor of the Economic Times from Delhi, and Cho Ramaswamy, editor of Tughlaq and a known political commentator down south. Swami, you go first. Big question that everyone's asking, should Dhananjay Maran not have resigned earlier? What's the point resigning now after his position, in a sense, became untenable?
Look, you are attributing noble motives to politicians which are perhaps not to be attributed. The truth is that politics has become big business. Very sad but true. And a big businessman does not resign when it comes to light that he has made a big profit. So obviously they would resist till the very last and hope that somehow it would be manipulated out of the way, as is what has been happening for all these decades. Fortunately, we have a situation now where the Supreme Court has ordered the CBI to take a tough line. We equally have an outrage on the middle class on TV and in the media. The combination is finally producing an accountability that never existed earlier and that politicians are very uncomfortable with. They will obviously struggle till the very last not to resign. They will struggle to manipulate the consequent result. But let me just say this. It seems to me that the earlier case against Raja, against Kanimori, is not a very strong case and would be very difficult to prove. It seems to me this is a stronger case and much more easy to prove. So I would not be surprised if at the end of it all, Raja and Kanimori get away with a not guilty verdict. But Maran is not so lucky.
Interesting theory there, Swami, that it could actually be those two to get away, as you said. Let's bring in Cho Ramaswamy. Do you think the DMK will distance itself from the Marans completely? I mean, even as we do continue to hear Karunanidhi say that media is really to blame for all that's happening to Dhananjay Maran, could they distance themselves?
Yeah, it has already distanced itself from Maran because Karunanidhi has gone on record maybe a fortnight back saying that Maran is capable of taking care of himself. Meaning thereby that the DMK will not assist him in any manner whatever.
Swami, two ministers in the dock. DMK has indeed turned out to be a huge embarrassment for the UPA.
There is nothing it can do because both parties need each other. Let it be said that while there is certainly this current mood of the DMK as a corrupt party, I mean, please, the corruption extends to every single party, including the Congress, including the BJP, including the CPM. If you remember that when the UPA 1 was formed, there were 7 tainted ministers, 7 guys with corruption charges against them who were taken into the cabinet. So it is not a new thing that UPA has made its compromises with extremely dubious characters. That has been the case and continues to be the case. The only embarrassment in some sense is that they have been found out and the Supreme Court has forced them to take action. But I think the Congress will take comfort in the fact that although we had these scams, although they were thrashed in Tamil Nadu, this scandal did not prevent them from winning a huge victory in Assam and a huge victory in West Bengal. So I don't think they are too discomfited. They think they can live with this.
Think they can live with it. Okay, Cho Ramaswamy, on one side the AIADMK is exerting pressure against Maran. On the other, Maran is relinquishing his ministerial berth. Is the Maran legacy, from a business standpoint, the business domination in Tamil Nadu, a real threat?
Well, the Sun TV business may thrive in spite of all this. But his political future is rather bleak because he cannot hope to enter the Congress which he earlier thought of. And the DMK is an unwanted element. So it is rather bleak, yes.
Okay, Swami, now the buzz in New Delhi is that T.R. Balu is set to replace Maran as the textiles minister. Balu also has a bit of a tainted image as well. Should the Congress now put its foot down and say that the DMK won't have a say on who gets in?
I think at this point the Congress is in a very strong position to assert itself. I would be most disappointed if it did not assert itself and say no to Balu. As you say, Balu's reputation is not particularly good. He has not been involved in the 2G, of course, but as a transport minister, his reputation was anything but good. Now, earlier on, you could say, well, Congress needs DMK and so on. But right now, DMK is out of power in Tamil Nadu. The DMK desperately needs a friend at the central government level. In these conditions, I think the Congress should act really tough.
Okay, but there's a cabinet reshuffle on the card, Swami. Will the Congress clean up its own house? I mean, how much more could they clean up truly?
No, absolutely not. There is no question that the Congress party itself has been the biggest single money maker of all. Now, I don't want to take names, and various other people have taken names. I don't want to get into it. But let's not pretend that there's a bunch of nice, squeaky clean guys in the Congress and there are a couple of very dirty characters and we can just clean them out. The party politics is, I regret to say, a form of business. The amounts of money being spent on in each constituency are humongous. The idea that you can just get some honest people and clean out the stables is a mirage. You need a certain amount of institutional reform where this thing changes, but it is not a question of good guys versus bad guys. I'm afraid it's much more complex.
Swami, final word to you. Given all that's happened in the UPA government, 2 ministers who have to step down on account of corruption charges, don't you think the PM should take moral responsibility and step down?
No, he made it very clear when he became Prime Minister that he is subject to something called coalition dharam, which means he is going to coexist with a bunch of crooks, right? It was said right at the very start, and it is a fact of life. If you really want to be a high moral principled man, how on earth could you have accepted 7 tainted ministers in your very first cabinet? Once you made a compromise with that, why only point fingers at corrupt people in the DMK? So as I said, from my point of view, this argument has been made before that politics is a den of vice. Good people should keep out of it. The counter argument is if no good person ever enters politics, how is it ever going to improve? So it is better that some good people enter. This will necessarily entail certain compromises, but that is better than all good people resigning and leaving the field entirely to crooks.
Thus spoke Swami. Thank you very much, Swami. Always a pleasure. And Cho Ramaswamy, thank you very much for your perspective there from South, that's in Chennai.